Hello, Drag Racers.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Maddox.
And for all of Season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race, we will be bringing you our weekly updates on our favorite 3 moments of every episode, our favorite shade moment of the week,
our favorite queen of the week, our favorite costume on the runway, and our predictions for next week.
So stay tuned.
What do you want? What's the tea? You tell me what's the tea. What's the tea? You tell me what's the tea.
What is your favorite moment?
My first favorite moment is Fifi O'Hara's dog. During the main challenge, they were assigned a dog, and Fifi got this humongous bloodhound that was basically the same size as she was. And while she was trying to work, it was like jumping on her. She like bent down to get something and it jumped on her back to try to hump her. It was just a mess. It was drooling on her fabric and her paper. Fifi's dog was out of control.
Yes, it certainly was.
What's your first favorite moment?
My first favorite moment was in the mini challenge where they had to drag up a puppet. Which I don't know if I like the idea of the challenge as it was being presented, because I felt like it was basically like reading plus their little like 8 other dress up this thing in drag. But it actually turned out to be kind of funny, and they got to have a little bitch fest with them.
And
I thought it was really funny, just watching them all kind of read each other with these little puppets. And I also have to point out, if you go back and look, Sharon's Chad puppet looked more like Lana Del Rey than Chad. Look at it. It had the wig, it had the dress and the lips. It looked like Lana Del Rey.
My second favorite moment is Latrice Royale reading Sharon Needles on the runway. And this is one of my favorite moments because I think a lot of what she said was accurate. She was saying how, like, when Sharon comes up there and she's unpolished and she's not, like, all the way put together, they just look at that as like, oh, that's Sharon's look. They don't really ever critique her on it. And she was like, if I came up here with that, y'all would rip me to shreds. And Sharon was not prepared for Latrice to read her down and say that she should be the one that has to go home. So, one of my favorite moments. What was your second favorite moment?
My second favorite was on the runway when they sang their little dog song. I just thought it was another little cute choreographed
and Fifi
moment.
stole it, but
not my favorite moment. Also, it raises a question which I think is very important that I think we all need to discuss. Where do these songs come from? Like, who read this and the Diva Awards? Like, I feel like they're so perfectly fit to this. Like, did we discover some random Japanese children's CD that has all these songs? It was bought the rights for it? Because I don't understand where they came from.
I have no idea. Okay, my third favorite moment comes from one of the guest judges, Rose McGowan, and do 3 looks on the runway. And one of the looks was daytime realness, and Fifi comes out in this Japanese anime Nicki Minaj-ish look. Winona Judd, who was another guest judge, was like, I don't see this as real. This is not real. And then Rose McGowan says, I have no interest in real people. I find them boring. So I just thought that was fun. And her face is
Worse than Chad Michael. Well,
injected for the gods.
My third favorite moment was a little moment on the runway when Miss Sharon Needles came out in her Doggy Park realness. And she's walking around, and then out of nowhere she picks out a plastic bag and she bends down and picks up the poop and walks out holding it. And I just thought it was cute. Also, I was kind of strapped for the third moment. We are on the same team.
Okay, I'll go with my queen of the week, who is Fifi O'Hara, which is not shocking. But the reason why she is my queen of the week is because during the whole episode, they kept saying, oh, she's too ambitious, she's too this, she wants to win too bad, but it's a competition. And when they were in the workroom, Phoebe's like, it's a competition, you're supposed to be competitive. And I think it was Chad who was like, well, you're the only one who sees it that way. No, bitch. We are here to win $100,000. Quote, LaShawn Beyond. This ain't RuPaul's best friend race, bitch. We could be friends after I win my money, but until then, you are the competition and you are the enemy. Period, point blank. The judges said she stole the show when they performed. She did. She was fierce. Her runway looks, love. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Chad thought she was gonna go down because she gave her the big ugly dog, and Fifi still turned it out. So, bloop on you, Chad. But who's your queen of the week?
My queen of the week is, unfortunately, the fallen Latrice the Beast Royale. I love her to death, and I'm very sad to see her go. I think that her, like, parting words were the most, like, heartfelt and, like, real, which she's been this entire season. I think what she said to Rue at the end was, it was really touching, and it was really, like, honest, and I think that her legacy will be, like, much bigger than a lot of the other queens. I want to recognize her and shout her out one more time, but I will miss her because I love my ladies.
And she has the best little interview things.
Yeah. Oh, and also her quote at the end when she stands at the back of the runway and she was like, "She is large and in charge, chunky yet funky, the bold and the beautiful. I am Latrice Royale." She's amazing.
Yes, I love her.
Everyone will remember her always forever until we all perish.
Costume of the week. I chose Fifi because they had 3 looks, and she was the only one that I liked all 3 of the looks. I liked her daytime look.
She had the that like Rihanna wig.
Oh yes, she had on like a Rihanna wig, very like what's my name. We already talked about that. Her Nicki Minaj-ish, and her 3rd look, which was inspired by her humping dog, was also very good, and it like came off and turned into a bathing suit. I thought she looked fierce. And just to add in, I also said that I liked Sharon's final look. Even though the challenge was to create your own look by sewing something, and none of Sharon's looks were created by her, she just kind of glued fur to a boot and put on a dress that was in her bag. But it was my favorite look, maybe of hers for like the whole season. That's actually pretty. Like, she actually looked pretty. She had like this big curly white hair, a cute sparkly hat. That dress was everything, and her boots that matched her dog. But yes, those were my costumes of the week.
My costumes of the week all belonged to Madam Sharon Needles.
First of all, her second look in the dog park is what she wears in the drag room. Like, she had on cutoff shorts and tights and a vest. That is not a drag look.
I thought her day dress look was very, very different than what she usually does, and she pulled it off really well, looking all bright and bubbly. And I do think her rocker chic thing was different than what she wears in that workroom. It was very like Olsen, rock chic. I liked it. I thought it was cute for what it was. It was like going out clubbing, and that's what her drag persona would go out to the clubbing. And then I thought her poodle costume was amazing. I remember seeing it in the clip last week, and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see that whole thing, because it just showed her face, which was gorgeous. But the whole thing came together amazingly, and when she walked out with her poodle and the boots, and that was an amazing look, whether you like Sharon or not.
I didn't say I didn't like Sharon. I just don't think she did the challenge.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to America.
She didn't do the challenge.
Well, anyways.
She's the only one who did not create something. And gluing fur to boots is not creating something.
Shade.
Yes, my shade of the week came from the one, the only, Latrice Royale. During the challenge, they're in the workroom and they're supposed to be sewing. Sharon is like, excuse me, Miss Fifi, can you like come over and help me? I don't know how to, like, she was having trouble threading her needle, and Fifi just like walks out with her dog and like ignores her totally. And then she asks Chad to help her, and Chad goes and helps her. We cut to Latrice, and Latrice says, top 4 is her stop. Sharon, this is where you get off. I just thought it was fierce. It was the shadiest thing, but it was so funny, and I loved it. What is your shade of the week?
My shade of the week comes from Sharon Needles. And it's actually to everyone. She kind of is like really struggling with her look, and you can kind of tell she's a little frustrated. And everyone's like, Sharon, what do you think of my completed dress? Sharon, what do you think of this gorgeous look? And she just kind of looks up at all of them, and like Fifi asks, or I think Chad asked first, and she's like, Sharon, what do you think about this? And she's like, amazing. amazing. And then Fifi's like, what do you think about this, Sharon? And she goes, gorgeous, darling. And then Latrice is like, and this? And she's like, oh, diva. And it was just like, just get on my back. I'm a little behind. I don't need to be, complimenting you guys. So there was kind of shade from both sides, and I thought it was quite a shady moment.
Was quite shady, especially since she did so many.
What was that? Speak up. We can't hear you.
So Sharon won the whole thing somehow, and our bottom two was Chad and Latrice, as I predicted last week, and my predictions have been spot on. So, girl, fall into that. They sang Winona Judd's No One Else. Listen, let's stop with the country songs. I mean, I know there's people out there who like country, but not for a drag show. I'm sorry, I can't. But as I predicted, it was going to be an upbeat song, and I will give it to Chad that she turned it out.
So she got to stay, which unfortunately meant that Latrice had to go.
Which means our top three is Fifi, Sharon, and Chad. So, predictions. Well, next week, first of all, let's not do the recap episode. Like, let's skip that. I hate that episode. It's so stupid.
obnoxious.
I don't need to see, like, what already happened, scenes I didn't get to see. Like, I don't care. Get to the nitty-gritty. And I'm also upset because we didn't get to watch Untucked because it doesn't come on until 11:30 because the new Now Next Awards is on. So that's my shade of the week. That's real shady.
Logo.
Yes. So predictions, not for next week, but for the following week.
Yes, we'll be taking a week off here at What's the Tea. But when we come back, we're going to find out...
Who's a winner?
Right? This is the...
I think the final two are going to be, for just like dramatic effects, I think it's going to be Fifi versus Sharon.
I think
because they're like polar opposites. They've hated each other the whole season, and they've always honed in on that.
Yeah, they've always
so
been
to make that the final two is the obvious choice. From then on, I don't even know what's going to happen.
I have
really,
no idea.
I don't.
I can put my 2
fan
cents.
favorite is Sharon to win, obviously. But you never know with this shit.
Never know.
Alexis Mateo was in top 3, need I remember.
Raven didn't win, need I remember. But let's just go and say that...
Yeah, Chad is not in top 2.
Chad is not.
No.
Love you, but it's just not happening.
No.
So, yeah, I agree. It'll be Fifi and Sharon. And,
because it'll be boring if it's Chad and anyone. Because, like, she's... Oh, I'm so professional and I love these young girls. Like, no. And her and Sharon are always sniffing each other's asses. We don't need to see that in the final episode. Girl, please. Give me some drama.
We're going to have our first white queen winner. It's been a very diverse winners in the past.
Fifi is... I don't think she's white. So, it's going to be Fifi versus
Sharon. And I... can't wait to see what happens in this finale, if that's what we're getting next. I'm a little nervous, but I guess we'll just see you in 2 weeks. But I guess you'll just have to stay tuned and find out
what's the tea.
What do you